Hey Sonia, how are you? As you may have noticed, it's a different view of my head. I changed things around a bit, which was a nightmare. So the camera's on my left side here. This is the camera that used to be pointed at the palette. What's pointed at the palette now is the webcam, and the main camera is still the main camera up there. I had recently purchased a giant all wood cabinet that was a pure nightmare to put together. So I store all my art stuff in it. Yeah. I probably could show it to you guys using the bottom camera. You'd be able to see it. So hold on a second. You should be able to see it if I aim it. Well, not that way. Hold on. Have to really loosen the camera. Sorry about that. But anyway, there it is. I should be able to tighten this in a way to where I can just move it around and it not flop all over the place. So be patient with me here. I think I'm going the wrong direction. I'm doing everything in reverse. Hold on. Looks like an earthquake. I'm sorry. But anyway, yeah, there it is over there. All right. And yes, I got my big reptile on the top. But I don't know if you guys can see it if I open it. Actually, I can do this. There. All right, you guys can see it. But I got all, as you can see, all the, well, you won't see the stuff on the inside. It's just stencils and stuff, but it's all the paint and brushes and all my paper and other stuff is down there. Foam board and all of that. So anyway, this was a pure nightmare to put together. And it's got a drawer on the bottom down there. You're not going to be able to see that, but it's got a drawer down there. All right, let's go back to the palette. There we go. Of course I have to tighten it because it's not going to stay. Well, it should stay. I don't really bother it much. It should stay like that. All right. Anyway, yeah, that was pure hell to put together. And it weighs a ton. So, all right, let's switch this back. There we go. Yeah, we're back. All right. For some reason, this is not catching my live chat. Hold on one second. It's not catching the live chat on my tablet. I'm gonna have to turn this, I gotta turn my tablet, twist it. Hold on. I have to change the orientation. And let's go back to chat again. Oh, there's everybody. Hey, Kathy. Sugar Plum, how are you? It's good to see you. Madonna, how are you? Johnny Simmons, hello. It's good to see you, guys. Yeah, Yeah, my Spidey jacket is it's a favorite of mine. I wear it all the time. So it gets washed a lot. It's starting to fade, but it's all good. Okay, Mount Doom. Yeah, it's just a kind of my take on the Doctor Doom character from the Fantastic Four Marvel comics and stuff. And I just thought of the title. My paintings, as of recently, haven't been really overly complicated or anything like that. I just don't feel like doing all of that as of right now anyway. So, but what we're going to do, we're going to base coat this stuff in black. There's no glycerin or anything. You might not be able to see it too well, but it's white pencil on this purple bluish. And there's no glycerin because I've already did the background. Saturday. And so I'll just kind of put this in its basic kind of black outline, small, and it will take the shape of a mountain, so it'll be kind of craggy looking and crazy. But hopefully I will try to somehow get the look of, if you're familiar with the character. If you're not familiar with the character, Dr. Doom, just look him up. You can Google him. And I'm using, this is actually Artist Loft black paint. It's thick stuff. I'm using a small brush just to get into the quote unquote smaller details and such. I'll use a larger brush to fill it all in a second. Little spots like that, I can just block that in. It's not really too much fun blocking in something in solid black. It's kind of easy, almost like a cheat, but then again, it kind of goes with the theme of this character, so it's all good. Feel free to ask me questions or whatnot. I know that usually people don't talk too much when I do this. Hey Vermont, how are you? It's good to see you. Yeah, I guess I'm somewhat on at a somewhat decent time. And tomorrow's a holiday. Some of you might not be working tomorrow. So, yeah. I rearranged a lot of my brushes, and a lot of the brushes that I don't normally use, they're in there. What I really need most part is usually out here anyway, so I don't really sweat too much over it. A tomato's a fruit, my friend. Don't ask a geek questions. Okay, Sugar Plum. All right. I guess I'll give you that one. Like I said, what I've been doing lately is not really overly complicated. It's really just me trying to get back into the groove of this thing. I don't know, really. I don't know. I should be grateful that I'm at least doing it, because at one point in time I wasn't even physically able to hold the brush like this long at all. So this is wet on dry. Once again, no glycerin or anything, just not today. Okay. We're going to approach that a little differently, okay? Which is why I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm going to bring some of this down a little bit more because of the tree line. The tree line will probably be a little more intricate, and there's going to be waterfalls in this too. All right, so I'll bring it down like that. Okay, I pretty much know what Dr. Doom's face mask looks like, so I don't really have to. I'm using I've been out of touch with this stuff for a while. Burnt umber, ultramarine blue, cad red. This is just regular, it's like chalk white actually. Okay, and then black. I'm gonna mix the black and the brown together here. I might throw a little blue in this a little bit later. We'll see. We'll see. We'll just do it under here first. We'll see how it takes. Yeah, blue. We'll pop a little blue in that. Now what saves this blue from turning green, because the umbers have more green in them, is the black in it. But you'll see the difference once it dries. So it looks like I'm putting black on black, but it's not. But Dr. Doom usually has a cape, and so this is why I'm painting it the way I'm painting it. Some people, well, comic book geeks would get it. And once again, I'll bring this down too a little bit because of the tree line. So I'll bring some of this down a little, like so. Okay. And even in this is really just a roughing out the subject a bit. It's kind of my nature to do just different stuff. I mean, I can paint mountains, trees, and lakes, and waves, and everything, but it will eventually bore me, and then I have to do something different, you know. I used to do quite a bit of portraits, but I haven't been called on to do them, and so I just don't do them much anymore. Yeah. Okay, I am going to have a waterfall here, and I might as well block that in right now. So I'll add a little bit of brown here, and plenty of blue. And this is just a block in the waterfall, that's all. If there's anything that's going to be added medium wise, it's just going to be water. Like I say, there's no glycerin today. I'm not using any glycerin today. I'll put it to you that way. All right, and we'll kind of get the waterfall going. There's a small one right in here, so we'll just block it in right now. I'll have it go straight down, I guess. Yeah, that's one. It's got a thin one on the side there. We have another one on the side. I'll just take it and just like that. This is just, once again, just blocking it in. My poor tablet here. This looks like it's going through convulsions. Looks horrible. But it just looks raggedy. Guess I'll just use the phone. Yeah, that looks terrible. I'll just shut this down. Unless I do it at a lower resolution. I never thought about that. Okay. We're gonna let this dry a bit. So let's play with a little bit of green. Let's try a darker green. I'm gonna put the yellow right here next to the black. We're gonna use this green. We'll mix the yellow and the black together. All right. Wow, you just look horrid. It's shaking and stuttering and all right. This failed. This is a bad choice for a tablet. I'll just get rid of that. Anyway, let's move on. Okay, we're gonna block it in. Obviously, we're gonna block it in. Get a little bit of black. We'll put it right here. You guys can still see that, yes. And get some yellow. Okay, pop that yellow in there. Stir it around. Get a little at a time. Believe me, it will turn green. Black and yellow will make green. There we go. See that? Okay. Deep olive green. All right. I'll probably have to make quite a bit of this. I'll just keep working it. Oh, let's see. How do I want to do this? I'll bring it down here a little bit. So, bear with me. I'm not going all the way to the top because you need the leaves. The hill here will be grass covered, so it's like that. Then I can kind of actually just play around here a little bit on the edge. Bring some of that into the waterfall there, but keep this side solid here and bring it right down. Yeah, I'm gonna be mixing some more of this. I definitely don't have enough. Once again, I'm just blocking all of this in, wet on dry, because I want it to dry fast. We're gonna get some yellow, pop it in there. Get some black, pop it in there, mix it, blend it. With only two colors, there's no way you can mess this up. Popcorn. That sounds good right about now, actually. Once again, just a lot of blocking in. There's no glycerin on this. I usually keep repeating because people come in different times. So now I can add water to it if I chose to, if I so desired. Okay. It would spread out the paint a little bit more, but even that, it would take a little bit for it to dry. this doesn't really probably make a lot of sense as of yet, but the blocking in stage usually happens. You know, it kind of looks, well, crazy. This is a 3/4, right? Or no, I think it's a 1-inch brush. This thing. I'm pretty sure it's a 1-inch brush. But all right, I just about blocked in what I need to block in here. Just like so. Okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. You're just blocking in color. Okay. I still got a slew of stuff to put into the cabinet here. I just needed, because it was really cluttered in here, and it just needs to look a little more pleasant. I got rid of a old table that I had that's going in the garbage. Hey Shane, how are you? So yeah, so I got like a whole lot of room back there. What is going on here? Play Store, go away. Weather, go away. Okay. That was odd. All right, let's get to doing the mountain. This fella isn't really it's not really conducive for me to use a palette knife with it, because it's really kind of small. Therefore, I guess I'll just use a very small flat brush for texture. All right, okay. We're gonna play with a little bit of blue and black today, so we'll get some blue. Pretty ultramarine blue. Get quite a bit of it. Get a little dab of black there. So more blue than black. All right, and this is obviously for the dark part of the mountain. I want it just a little darker. Still, you'll be able to see the blue in it. So it's kind of a slick little game, you know, just to get that right color, really. All right, that should be good enough. We'll start over on this side. You'll see spots here. It's still wet, but we'll work with it. Okay. With this camera, the more layers I put on, it becomes out of focus. So, hold on 1 second. It is a touch screen. Okay, we should pop back in focus there. All right, we'll start adding some of this blue. Now, probably here, I'll add the palette knife. We're going to get to shading and all sorts of clever, fun things with this guy. But with the cloak here, or the part of the rock that will be his cloak, we'll once again, we'll play around with this blue, and we're gonna use the highlights and just adding white to this color. Get rocky texture going. So we're dealing with, even with dark colors, we're still dealing with tones and shades and hues and You'll see. You'll see. Now, even though I'm adding this and it doesn't look like I'm doing too much, even paint holds the texture. The watercolor paper that I'm using has a texture of its own. But when you put layers of paint on here, that creates a texture also. All right. You can start to see it here. Okay. And you need that. I'm not doing this in thinking of light and shade. That'll come a little later, in a few seconds actually. It's just texture of where I want what. Okay. This is weird not having any background noise. And I'm not going to get up and turn the TV back on. It's just going to have to stay quiet, I guess. You know, I don't have a fancy, exotic female voice telling me what everybody's saying in the chat. It wouldn't do me any well anyway. Nobody speaks. All right. Okay. So you can start to see the textures here. All right. Okay. We could do the same approach. Well, not really, because this won't be rock here. This is all, it's going to be trees and foliage and all that type of stuff. Okay, up around in here, we're going to add some crazy texture stuff. We have to do actually this is the wrong spot. That's okay. I did it in the wrong spot. It's actually here. Right where the tree line in the mountains meet. And right here in this corner. Same thing. Just kind of blur that out a little bit. You'll see why in a minute. Okay, we get some of this brown and blue mix here. I'm going to come down here on the bottom. We'll play around with some of that too. There's a reason why I'm doing, once again, I'm doing what I'm doing. Kind of rough in that transition there. I'll know where it is, but we need it there. Get a little bit of water. Go into this brown and blue mix here. Let's just create some more. And get our brownish blue texture working in here too. And you see it starting to happen there, here. Okay. Many people ask, well, how do you know where to put when and what? It's practice. You keep doing it, your eye will find shapes and patterns. Okay. All right. Moving right along. I think I'll try this palette knife and we'll give it a shot. I'm going to dip just a little bit of white in this. Okay. really don't want it excessively bright. So if it looks a little too bright, I might just darken it a bit. It can do to be a shade darker. It's still going to be lighter because of the white mixed in it. And I might add a little touch of black just to gray it a little. So it's just me really playing around with the color. I get the shade I'm looking for. Usually the way I'm texturing, it requires a lot more paint than what you see here. Okay, it's time to play. We'll just give it a couple taps here. You should be able to see the pattern. If I adjust it a little bit, you get to see it a little there. All right, so we'll come up to, we'll actually do the side here. Now remember, I know where his cape, which will be his cape, I know where that is. And we're just going to kind of give a tap. And as we're tapping, we're almost like a tap drag thing. Okay. Tap, drag it. I'll even try to get it to look kind of cape-like. At least try. I will outline what would be the cape, which would come down here. And I'm really just using the tip of the brush. What's giving me the texture is that thin layer of paint, and this is watercolor paper, so it's, you know, textured anyway. Bring it right into the grassy area. Put it right in there. Yeah, Madonna, his name is Doom. Yeah, he a bad guy. Actually, his name is Victor. Yeah, he's not a very nice guy at all. Now, as I'm doing this, I'm making rocks, but I'm also shaping the cape. Well, at least I can do the outline of his cape a little bit there, like that. And then from here, I'll go in reverse. I'll just go from bottom to the top there. As you can see, I'm running out of the mix, but that's okay. I still should have enough. This style requires a lot more paint than I'm using. what's actually helping me out is just the texture on the and it's wet on dry, so there's no glycerin, and that also adds to me getting some very interesting textured shapes. Okay, a little more blue, a little black, mix it up, slight touch of white in there. I'm gonna just use the tip of the palette knife here. Because I'm working around the hood and everything now. Oh, okay. Still a tapping motion. Right on the round. You see that? The key to it is don't try to block in every nook and cranny. Don't do that. You got to have some dark spots in there. No problem. I took my glutton of a dog out earlier, just before I came on. Okay, well, pretty much the cape is pretty much done. All right. Okay, we have this color, this browny kind of mix here. What is the brown and, I think it's a brown and, was it brown and blue? I believe. And black, that's right. Because I have to be careful I don't, it doesn't turn green. Little touch of white in there. Okay. More of a traditional kind of a rocky gray color, which is cool. It'll work. I'm thinking if I want that a little darker. I'm thinking, yeah, just a tad. I'll just get a little bit of black, just a little bit. Don't need too much. To change the value. And that's all we're doing is changing the value. Okay. Okay. And once again, we're going to do the tapping deal, okay? Bring some of that down. It's almost a tap drag motion. Omnidirectional. Also, it doesn't matter which way you hold your palette knife. Whatever way is comfortable for you to achieve the look you want to get. Okay. Okay. I don't want a definite human-like it's still a mountain, and for some people it might take a second glance you know, to look at it, to see that it's actually a person. Okay, so you want a representation of a humanoid figure, but don't make it too obvious. Okay. That's what I'm trying to get at. And plus, I gotta get used to looking to my left side now since the camera's over there. So, sorry. When it comes to his face, I don't feel like getting up. But we're gonna start with the way it's looking here. You start off with the forehead area. Now his mask, you know, it's got the slits and it's got the mouth area there. So let's just we'll work on his forehead first. Remember, you're just doing general shapes now. This is just his forehead. And popping nose in there. I'm just using black just to reshape that nose a bit. I'm using the tip of the palette knife here, and we'll get his cheekbone in there. Pop in that chin right around this area here. Join it together. Don't omit the darks there. Okay. Let me do something here. I'm having to use the brush for this part. It's pretty much kind of molding his eye sockets or whatnot. So we'll just kind of play around with the dark. See, we use the dark for us here. Like so. Now his mouth. And still keep it kind of rock-like. There's the angle of his mouth. Okay, well, there go his eyes, there go his mouth. His mouth got these thin slit things. You see if I can get away with it. Okay, all right. Okay. Let's go back into our bluish color. We're going to get a little bit of white. And we're going to go into that blue-gray color, just a little bit of that. and we'll put it right in here. We'll brighten that up a bit. So we'll play around with a little bit of highlight there. The brighter the highlight, the less of it you really need. Okay. All right. I'm gonna just use the tip of the palette knife here. Hey Bree, how are you? We'll work on the one side here. I guess we'll do it off the right hand side. Now, the texture part isn't really too bad because you're working with texture that's already there. And we're going to put everything on the right hand side of this fella. It almost becomes like a game once you're accustomed to doing it. Because there's texture on here, basically I can just wipe right across and just get the texture of where I want to put it. Painting is not really for everybody. Some people will get it, some people will not. And that's okay. It, makes me happy. Remember, everything's still on the right hand side. And if anything, I'm going to really outline where the cape would be, where the high points would be, because you still got to think of this thing as a mountain. All right, so it's still got its high points and its dark points. Bring some of that down here. Okay, let's go with our gray. Add some white to the gray. Doesn't have to be perfectly mixed. As long as it's lighter than the previous color, you should be okay. You should be A-okay. I have to be careful here. So I will do a series of touches around the bridge where the eye would be like that and come around his cheekbone just like this. Okay, you got to be careful. I'm just going to use the very tip of the palette knife here. Look at that nose right there. Right where his chin is. I'm going to take a little bit of black. This is where the comic book stuff comes in. Some of it you have to do kind of an outline, a little bit. Like where his hood would be. Add a little shadow there where his hood would be. So you want to add a little bit of some recesses in there. Just where the hood would cast kind of a shadow. Thank you, Madonna. Okay, you can start to see where things are kind of taking shape there. Okay, you do the same thing here. Now, when you add little bits of dark underneath where the cape would be, it just separates it that much more. You don't need much black to do so. This is just solid black, which is going to be darker than the dark you see there already. It just adds to the deep recesses of you know, what you're trying to portray here. There's texture here already, and I'm doing wet on dry. Meaning obviously the paint's wet, board's dry. Okay, I really don't have to do much to that anymore. I mean, he's already there and he's already done. We'll work on the trees here. Okay, this is the part where you might fall asleep on. The trees will be detailed a little differently. This is where you would get really a very ratty brush, one that would be destined for the boneyard. I think this brush, even though it's not destined for the boneyard, but this one might do. Okay, we got this really deep green here. Okay, let's get a palette knife. Let's clean off this. What I don't need anymore, I can just get rid of it. And plus, it's in the way. Okay. So we'll get rid of it. Scrape it off, and that's that. All right, now we still got our green here, and we're going to utilize this. We'll use some of this. We'll bring it right about here. Okay. I will add a little blue to that. Actually, that's a pretty cool looking green right there. I might need, well, I'm going to need plenty of it. So let's just not even, let's cut to the chase. Let's just get it done. Black, yellow, ultramarine blue. Okay, and mix it in there. We're going to use plenty. Like I said, you might fall asleep in this part. Because in order for it to look convincing, I really can't. Sorry about that. I knew that was kind of happened. I have to tighten that up. Okay, how bad are you? Oh, it just loosened up. All right, hold on 1 second. I guess I'll keep it. Right about there. It's really, lock her in there. All right. She won't go back like that anymore. Okay. Now I'll show you, I guess I'll show you here if you guys can see it. This got a lot of body in it. I took a pair of scissors and I just cut it. So it gives me that fullness right in here. All right. Okay. Alrighty. I'll use thicker paint and a light touch. So we'll pack this bristles up pretty good. I'll kind of open up this thing here. Okay, and to get away with doing this, okay, yeah, I'll show you what it looks like there. See that? See those patterns there? That's going to be your tree, your leaves, all right? Okay. We'll start here at the top, where it kind of meshes in right in here. We'll do that. We'll establish that first. All right, and just like what I've done here and what I've done for the mountain, we first blocked it in, right? Right. Well, before I do that, let me do something else. Let me do the waterfall. That will be the wisest thing for me to do right now. Oh, okay. I see what you're talking about. Thank you, guys. That was me vibrating tape. The camera's actually on the desk. So that was my fault. Let me see. Okay. Now I see what I thought you were talking about the camera, the palette camera. You talking about the camera. All right. Sorry about that. Thank you. It's not going to fall back anymore. I guarantee it. But thank you. I appreciate it, guys. What was I doing? Oh, okay. The great camera mishap. Okay. Get a little bit of blue. We'll put it right here. Get a little bit of white. Like that. We'll build. I'll take this flat brush. Remember, it is wet on dry. So there's no glycerin here. Okay, very thin flat brush. And okay, you guys should be. Oh, we'll do this thin guy first, this small fella, and very lightly, just come in and just give it a nice once over like that, a little pass like so. Okay, don't get rid of all your dark. What I'm doing now is not the final highlight. All right, you just kind of filling it in. We'll go this way like that. And we'll kind of go on the other end like this. I'll just flip the brush around. We keep doing it that way. Just like that. Get some more. It's like a dry brush. Okay. You vary your hand pressure. You vary your angles and such. All right. I'll get some here in the middle like that. This is just paint straight out of the tube, and I'm using a dry brush method, so because you kind of want that look on purpose. Okay, like I said, this is not the final highlight. You'll find yourself repeating this numerous times. Until you feel you got it right. Many ways to do this. You can do it with a fan brush also. But remember, this is dry brush, so essentially you just keep going over it and over it and over in layers. All right, let's take some white. I didn't clean my brush. And wherever you want your highlights for your waterfall, really up to you. You just want to really portray quick movement. Now this is only 12 by 18, so it's not the largest size. I'm gonna highlight the right hand side obviously a little more than the others. Other side. Back end of this is the brighter right here. It's brighter here. So I almost made a mistake and did the trees before the waterfall. You don't want that, because you want the trees to kind of overlap into and go over a little bit the falls. Okay. Okay. Anything else missed and whatever that comes afterward. Okay. Back to our regularly scheduled program. Okay, we're going to take this dark green and we're just going to, like I say, you'll fall asleep during this part. Take your time with it. Now you see why I overlap a little bit, okay? I'm going to get a little bit of water, just a little bit. I'll come over here. All right, we'll loosen up the paint a little bit. And it's a very light touch. And you'll still, even though you watered it down, you still want very interesting patterns and groupings. Now I'm automatically making texture. So with that said, see, you bring some of that over the falls. See that? And yes, they will be highlighted. I'm just getting interesting interesting patches and patterns. When you add different variations of dark color, you really get to see what color your base color truly is. Now that you see this deep green, you see how brown the background is, or your blocking in color is. Let's take care of the guys at the top first there. Some of those globs will be a little heavier, some will not. Some will get heavily blocked in, some will not. The trick really will be in the highlighting. You see that? You see what I'm doing here? Okay. I'm gonna fill this in spots too, but I'm getting these dark patches into, or a little bit over into the falls, just a little bit. Okay. You have to remember also to kind of see through your painting. You gotta see past what you're looking at now, because if it might look a little unappealing or it doesn't make any sense, and it might not for right now. Some on the side of the brush there, but you gotta look past that, and that comes with practice. You need to be a little darker, and then we'll commence on with it. Now, if you notice, I got the tree patterns on this side, on the lit side, but not necessarily here. Okay. Things are going to get real interesting once these are highlighted. Right now you're looking at a bunch of texture going on. The shaping of them will come in a few seconds. All right. I think I'll use this thin little fellow. All right, let's get into a little bit of, now because I'm using black and yellow, I have to be careful. See, adding white, it could backfire and turn kind of gray on you because of that black. It depends on how much black you use in the mixture. You got me? All right. Okay. This paint is lighter, so it's going to have to be a little watered down. This is acrylic paint. The loose paint, like this stuff here, is a higher grade than craft paint. Okay, it's a little thicker. And what you want to do really is what I'm doing is I'm massacring the brush here. Okay, but I'm gonna add very tiny little leaflet type specks. Okay, all right. Let's get to highlighting some things here. We'll highlight more or less on the right hand side, so we'll kind of get little dots, little groupings like this, and then we'll come around on the side a little bit, just like that. Okay, well, I'm actually using the corner of the brush. Okay, and we'll get a batch right in here. And we'll curve it around a little bit in there like that. We'll get a batch right in here, playing around in there. Like I say, you might be falling asleep on this part. Still work on clumps, okay? Little patches. Let's come here and we'll make one going down like that. Still kind of heavy on the right hand side though. Yep, Johnny, I still use Grumbacher. What you're seeing here, really, Grumbacher is my preferred choice, but what you're seeing me use right now is Artist Loft. Don't know if that will show very well there. All right. Or you can see it here. I think they're all, right now I'm using Artist Loft, but yeah, I will always stick by my Grumbacher stuff, paints. Actually, I have to get more, but I have so many of the other stuff that I might as well start to use it up. Once again, let me put the focus on. Every time I add a layer, it does that. It will slowly get out of focus. The camera's eye isn't as sharp as ours. It tries. I must confess, it does try. Let's go below here like this. And we'll get some circular ones in here like this. And then we'll do another circular one right here. It's like the letter C. And we'll just kind of aim it down kind of thin there. Like that. you really want interesting looking clumps and patches. Okay. And that's pretty much what I'm aiming for. I'm going to dip into a little bit of water just to loosen up this paint just a little bit. You want a better look at it? Okay. I want you guys to notice something. You see how bright that is? But this stuff is just as bright. So, the acrylics dry flat, basically. Very light touch. You can take a brush like this and even cut more hairs off of it, and the leaves will even look more. It will look even more leaf-like. It all depends on how far away you want your, how detailed you want it, and how far away you want the foliage to be. Okay. But because it's that bright, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to remain that bright. It won't. It will flatten out. Okay. Come over the falls a little bit. Come over the falls a little bit. It pushes the falls back a bit. Then to put the greenery over the falls, just a little bit. Like I say, some people might be falling asleep during this part. Okay, when you look at it, make sure your dark and your lights, your medium tones or whatever, kind of even itself out a little bit. Okay. Okay. We got a little bit of yellow in here. We'll pop some of that yellow in there because I don't want it super glaringly bright, but I'll throw in some yellow stuff. Now it's on top of the green here, and now we'll just really pop very small clumps. And you can get away with this if you do this on the where it's dark at. So now you got the impression of it being on the right hand side. Got me? The brighter the highlight, the less of it you need, so you don't have to go crazy. Just in certain areas. Alright? Alright. And it doesn't have to be super bright. I'm sorry if it's a little late. Remember, this will be more effective if you are doing this and there's some dark patches. I'll bring some of this bright stuff over the falls too. But when you see a little patch of darkness there, you know, you sneak in a few of them in there. Once again, this is a technique. I do a lot of this for people who are starting out or intermediate artists. Not everybody has super limited time. You follow me? All right. Unlimited time. So something to get done over the weekend or in a few hours or something like that. You know, this technique, it makes it look a lot like you're doing a lot more than what it actually is. Okay. Let's take, you see this green, all this green here? Let's take a little touch of red, which is the opposite of said color. And put it in there. Okay. That yellow in there. Now you got another variety for brownish green here. It's got that red. All right. Now it gives it that browny color. We can tease a little blue in there. That'll bring some of that green back. Okay. Now you got another variety of green, but it's got that red mixed in there. That's another variety of green there. Okay. Okay. So we'll take some of this and we'll put it on the back end. So you're in reverse, you're going on the back end there. Still utilizing that dark, but you're going to the left. So you're actually in the dark going into the mid-tone. You follow? I knew I was going to take a little more time doing these leaves because they're a little more quote-unquote detailed, quote. But you might like the effect. And so basically you're using dark, your medium, and your light, you know, your highlights. I just tend to go backwards here. So I'm putting the medium in there. You already see the dark, because that's where we're coming from with this dark stuff here, the darker brown or greenish brown. And it helps to kill some of the blatantly maybe overpowering colors. Well, something like that. You have a good one, Bruce. I appreciate you coming in. Okay, guys. I really don't want to do anything with the sky. Sky looks bluish purple. You know, I really don't want to do anything with the sky. Really, I don't want to add any white. I don't want to add any no clouds or anything to it. Let me do this while I'm thinking about it. Get a little bit of white. A very small amount of white. I'm getting some water. Okay, that milky type of coloration there. Very watery, as you can see. The level of thickness is really up to you. Okay, this is another advantage of wet on dry. Okay, let's get some mist. Now this watery mix, very, very easy to get mist going with this. Okay. Look at that. Okay. And really just leave it alone. You can get it to be brighter. Okay. Just add a little more white to it. It all depends. If you use titanium white, you really wouldn't need much help at all. It's a very minimal amount of white, because you still want it thin enough to see your backgrounds. And you would have to be in constant movement, really, with it. So be careful. Something you really can't rush. You need to be very light. Very, very light. So it's almost like dry brushing again. Just be careful. See, I can move it around. I'm used to doing it, so I kind of know my little limitations with it. I can take my finger and kind of rub it out, though. That also helps. Just like that. It's another advantage of wet on dry also. You can use your finger. And you have to be quick. See, I can use straight white and just kind of rub it out there. See? It's like that. But you have to be fast, because you got a short window for this stuff. If you use pure paint, you got a tiny window. So just be mindful of that, all right? forward window. Remember that. And you build it up in layers anyway. Welcome back, Bree. And doing stuff like that, it adds a little movement, okay? And the cloud play sets everything back. So the trees push the mountain back, okay? The trees in front of the waterfalls push the waterfalls back. The clouds in front of the waterfalls and the trees push everything else back. You got me? All right. I don't want to add stars. Yeah. I really don't. I think this is good enough. Yeah. I don't want to add stars or anything, so. Let's get a script liner brush. Some water. This is Waverly brand white paint. It's chalk white. When this stuff gets hard, it is it's like slate. I don't mention this enough, but I do sell these things. If interested, all I gotta do is message me, really. There we go. And as usual, I will take a picture of it and post it on my Facebook page. I gotta make a thumbnail of this thing anyway. Actually, let me do something before I do that. I can put it on a different camera mode so you guys can, it'll get rid of my face and all that, I think. I think my face will stay. Whoops. Didn't mean, yeah, no, I'm right. Audio foil. There we go. I may have to pull it back a little bit. Put the focus on it. I'm sorry. You don't necessarily have to have tape on this. We can get rid of this get rid of that. What was I saying? Yeah, you don't have to have tape. All right. You guys pretty much almost see the bottom, really. Here, this is 12 by 18. I got large watercolor pad, and I just cut it to size and cut the yeah, you guys pretty much see this thing. There we go. It's kind of crazy to try to keep it in focus for you. Okay, I think I'm out of you guys' way, but there it is, total. It's hard for me to put this thing on focus for you guys. It should be in focus. Let's try up here. Maybe put his face in focus there. Okay. But anyway, there it is. Thanks, Shane. Not terribly difficult to do, really. Like I say, people who are comic book geeks, they'll see his image plain as day. So I don't post it too many views, so I don't know how many people are going to see it, but anyway, there you go. All right, guys, I appreciate you stopping by and checking this out. What else? I think that's about it. So with that being said, you'll see a picture of this in a few minutes. I gotta make a thumbnail for this video. You guys enjoy your Columbus Day. If you don't have to work, you guys, thank you, Bree. Thank you, Shane, Madonna, Sonia. I do appreciate it. Thank you, Johnny. Okay, guys. I shall see you when I see you. Take care, everyone.